Beyond the Bar episode 7 begins with a woman witnessing a hit-and-run case on the street in her neighborhood. The woman writes down the car number, and then decides to call the authorities. However, she ends up stepping on some glass on her way out of the house, trying to see if the boy is okay. She sits down, and the next thing we know, her husband returns to her, all worried and concerned. Suddenly, when they hear the sound of an ambulance, she freaks out and remembers the boy. The next scene cuts to the court, and Seok-Hoon is defending the man that this woman believes is the hit-and-run driver. But Seok-Hoon is quick to prove that she's not reliable because of her Alzheimer's. She can't even remember his name, but more importantly, she can't remember the names of the two kids who used to be her favorite students in school when she was a teacher. The kids walk out of the room. Guess they can't stand the thought of their teacher forgetting about them, even if it's medical. The teacher feels absolutely terrible for forgetting, and Seok-Hoon wins the case, leaving her and her husband heartbroken for the dead boy. A little while after, when Seok-Hoon returns to Korea from Singapore, he finds the woman's husband carrying her ashes and being arrested for aiding in suicide. Seok-Hoon takes it upon himself to defend the man. It looks like she euthanized herself in Switzerland, specifically because she already felt dead on the inside, despite being physically alive. When the team researches the case, things don't look great because the man is set to inherit a lot of money and has possibly cheated on his wife, too. It's the wife's brother who has launched the complaint against him, getting him arrested. Seok-Hoon is deeply affected by this situation mainly because he feels guilty for hurting the man and his wife. Seok-Hoon learns in court that the man cheated on his wife before the diagnosis, but he fell in love with her again because she became the person she was when they first started seeing each other. It's like he remembered why he loved her so much all over again, so while their relationship was rocky at first, it changed after the diagnosis. Additionally, the man refers to love as a rainbow because it has different seasons. It isn't just about passion. Even though he gets sentenced to a year in prison, Seok-Hoon learns a valuable lesson. He uses what this man says to convince himself to cut ties with Yeon-A, his ex-wife, for good. He calls her himself, tells her not to make the cologne any longer, and to draw passion time. Before their divorce, Seok-Hoon and Yeon-A had also lost their love. She was lonely and didn't feel like he liked her the same way he did 10 years before, so she decided to ask for a divorce. Additionally, her husband now gives her the gratification she was looking for from Seok-Hoon. I don't appreciate that Yeon-A learned to love for the first time now and suddenly has a kid and all that. I don't think Seok-Hoon is a victim here, and they've simply villainized Yeon-A as a character. Meanwhile, Jin-Woo and Min-Jeong get drinks together when Jin-Woo gets a call from Seok-Hoon. Guess he also needs drinking buddies. Min-Jeong tells Seok-Hoon that he was the person who inspired her to become a lawyer. He told her the best way to get revenge is to get out of the gutter and prove your haters wrong. He also told her he'd help her in any way, and he clearly pushed her to finish studying and become a coveted lawyer. Jin-Woo drops Min-Jeong home, and is too drunk to go back by himself. He sleeps on the couch, but then hears her sobbing in the middle of the night. Turns out she really misses her mother, who died when she was 23. Min-Jeong's been alone ever since because her husband and mother-in-law exploited her for 14 years, too. Of course, her daughter is now a grown-up and probably loves her mom the most. Later, her ex-husband and mother-in-law come to the office to harass Min-Jeong. They ask her to pay up because she became a lawyer and didn't even tell them about it. Min-Jeong shows them who's boss by avoiding her mother-in-law's slap and then slapping her ex-husband in the face a couple of times to knock some sense into him. She reminds them that they're the ones who owe her, considering how much nonsense they put her through. It looks like Min-Jeong is falling for Jin-Woo too, though, after they shared her bed briefly. Maybe they'll be the true endgame of this show. At the firm, Na-Yeon changes some rules, specifically regarding incentives, which irks Tae-Seop and his gang. They also have incriminating evidence against Seok-Hoon and a few pictures of the woman who came to visit him in the middle of the night at home. Tae-Seop decides it's Yeon-A in the pictures and wants to use them against Seok-Hoon, whom he blames for the policy changes, which include performance-based incentives. This would affect him the most, I guess. We already know he doesn't do any work at all. On the other hand, at night Seok-Hoon is in his room, and Yeon-A doesn't know this, so she talks to an imaginary version of him before getting caught. She then asks him if he'd like some tea, guess it's their thing. She tells him that he should talk to her if he needs to put some thoughts to rest, because she always does the same. He tells her about the divorce and how he feels. He tells her that he had trouble letting her go, but now he's become somewhat numb to it. She tells him that time tends to erode itself. Meanwhile, one of Tae-Seop's guys even steals some documents at night from Seok-Hoon, which can easily make it seem like he's doing the firm dirty. At the end of Beyond the Bar episode 7, the partners, all except Seok-Hoon and Na-Yeon, are invited by Tae-Seop for an emergency meeting. They expose Seok-Hoon's pictures to the crowd and claim it's Yeon-A in the pictures. The company doesn't seem to think it's as big a deal as he makes it out to be. A lot of people don't even care as much and still trust in Seok-Hoon's judgment. Ultimately, Na-Yeon shows up with Seok-Hoon, wondering what's going on. Tae-Seop claims Seok-Hoon had an inappropriate relationship with a junior, but Yeon-A will probably end up saving him ultimately. It looks like the woman is someone who used to work at the firm. Additionally, Tae-Seop wants to go after Yeon-A too, which makes it seem like he might be the one who had an inappropriate relationship. As for romance, I really don't know just yet, but I guess the unrequited love thing is getting a bit old, so I do hope they change it a little bit.